Pata Perioni. Tēnā koe.
Mr. Chair, and it's my pleasure on behalf of New Zealand First to participate in this debate and in talking about the Ministry of Māori Development. Can I say that I must be living in a different world in Whangarei and in Tai Tokerau, because we have the highest, we feature as Māori, highest on the social indices. Unemployment is the highest in terms of Māori. Economic development, while it's making some headway, it's still got a long way to go. And the other most important social thing is housing. Now, I can recall an era when the Department of Māori Affairs used to provide 200 homes where families actually moved in and owned the home. What are the figures that are being that are available in terms of home ownership for Māoris today, Mr. Chairman? Can I say that it's not very high? And look, if we're wanting to look at the plight, the social plight of Māori, all you need to do is walk up Lambton Quay, and the number of people, and I'm quite shameful to say this, many of them are Māori. And in the north, while we haven't got to the stage of begging, because those of my relatives who live at home are able to live off the land, but at the end of the day, many of them do not have the access to the proper health services. They don't have access to good housing. They don't have access to employment. And so it all goes on. And can I suggest, Mr. Chairman, that one of the reasons for this is that Te Puni Kōkiri is not doing their job. Last year, they underspent their allocation by 1.7 million. And that just follows a number of years where they have underspent. And I think that it's criminal that a public department like Te Puni Kōkiri should underspend its allocation when the needs of the people that they're supposed to be serving is still as strong as if it was last century. Mr. Chairman, one of the other things that we heard during the review of the committee, we heard that there was a restructuring and that over a long, lengthy period, they had 30 vacancies. And as a result of the restructuring, they now had 11 vacancies. Now, it's quite easy. If you just remove positions, then of course you can reduce the number of vacancies that you have. The other thing is, we've heard the discussion about the amount of money that was used for consultants. Can I suggest to you that many of those consultants became consultants as a result of restructuring, not only in the last financial year, but in previous years. And all those ex-staff members are laughing all the way to the bank. And I think it's a poor commentary that the annual vote for Te Puni Kōkiri should be remitted to consultants and rather to the work that it's supposed to be doing. I can recall, Mr. Chairman, that in the former Māori Affairs days, the staff, without exception, lived and were much closer to the community in which they served. And while I congratulate the academic level of achievement amongst the present staff, I would suggest to you that many of them do not have the life experiences that former staff used to have. And I would suggest that that's part of the reason. We look at whānau ora. We talk about, well, they talked about how successful it is, and yet they still need another year before they can quite accurately comment on how successful whānau ora is. Another issue for me, Mr. Chairman, is the issue of Māori wardens. Now, we know that the Māori wardens are one of the few groups that actually work out amongst our community and are aware of the challenges facing our people. And yet, the allocation that was made to that particular program has been underspent. Mr. Chairman?
I'm happy to give the member another call, but can I just remind the member and your party that you only have 2 calls left on the balance of the debate. So if you take another call now, you'll only have 1 call left, so I'm just bringing it to your attention. So, Jenny Salisa.